Right, 19 October 2025, and today is a Sunday, so we're going to have a quick update, and then I'll be back here around midday. And today we're waking up after a very busy week where ZANU-PF held their annual National People's Conference, and we're waking up to news that Apostle Talwent Chiwenga is in hospital and has gone for a 6th surgery. So I'm going to show you what has happened with him. A very popular apostle. People like him. A lot of Zimbabweans follow him. So I'll give you an update. And then let's start with some key events. So one of the most important outcomes of yesterday's ZANU-PF Annual National People's Conference resolutions is that 15 September is now going to be a national holiday. That is Mnangagwa's birthday. Is now going to be a holiday. And then obviously Mnangagwa is going to be releasing a new book, The Diary of the Trabablas, and also is honoring his mother. I think she's called Mhurai or Gogo Mhurai. So I'll give you guys details on the website. Mnangagwa is more and more becoming like a chief, so like a king, or like other people are saying, he's forming a kingdom. So that is what Mnangagwa is doing, but we're going to be watching it. There's a lot of resistance to what Mnangagwa is doing, and we'll be following it. We're going to be very busy. In the next 3 months, it's going to be the next busiest 3 months ever. So let's go to Apostle Talwent Chiwenga. Apostle Talwent Chiwenga is currently in hospital. He's undergoing his 6th surgery, or he has undergone his 6th surgery, and it will take 6 weeks for him to recover. So it will take 6 weeks for him to recover. So let's see what Apostle Talwent Chiwenga said before he went into surgery, and then we'll take it from there. It's very sad to see him going through this, and it's very painful to have a surgery. Is extremely painful. So let's see what he's saying before he went into the operation room the day before yesterday.
I'm going to be in the theater very soon to get into a surgical procedure to get some things right. I'm very hopeful that the Lord will help us once again. This will be my procedure number 7, and it's not a good thing. It's not an easy process to be in and out of the theater within these 5 years as many times, but the doctors are only trying to help to fix some things.
Okay, so you can go and check it out. Apostle Talwent Chiwenga has been hospitalized. He's going to be out of action for at least 6 weeks. And obviously, a lot of people support him. The surgery was done, and I'm not sure if he's up or not. So I've been trying to check with the guys who are close to him. I've seen someone praying for him after the surgery here, but I'm not sure if this was successful. But he's in a good hospital. You can see that is at a very good hospital, which I won't mention. But we'll see. Let's see if I'll be able to go and see him, and then we'll give you guys an update. All right, I think that is covered. Now let's quickly look at other things that have occurred overnight. So the issue of ED 2030 is obviously on top of everyone's mind, and we now watch to see what will happen in Parliament. So this process is going to take us through a political process, which is the referendums and the amendments. So the amendments we have to go through, and then the referendums will have to be done. There is no way to do it without doing the referendums. And if there is an attempt to change the constitution without going through a referendum, it's going to be very difficult for Mnangagwa. He's going to become even more unpopular than he is right now. So we're going to watch. We're going to have so much drama. And as I said, I'll be over there in Zimbabwe starting December. will be over there in Zimbabwe and will be showing you everything. So I think that is covered. What else do I need to cover? In Tanzania, the opposition leader is in jail. We're going into the election in Tanzania next week, and there has been an outbreak of violence overnight as one of the other opposition leaders was prevented from entering Kenya, and thousands of people have gone and released him from police custody. So you can go and check it out. So the men are looking at here is Tundu Lissu, who is the opposition leader who's jailed currently. And another opposition leader was attempting to go into Kenya. They arrested him. And then people from both Kenya and Tanzania went and released him at the border and escorted him into Kenya. Then in terms of other new developments, the National Railways of Zimbabwe has introduced a new train between Bulawayo and Harare. So the new train is starting to move from Bulawayo to Harare 2 times a week. I used to use this train every Friday when I was staying in Harare. I would travel between Harare and Bulawayo with a train. So this is starting to move. So let's see how this goes. I don't know if it's a diesel or electrical, but certainly if it's electrical, you have a lot of delays. But if it's a diesel, long back it used to be electric up to Gweru and then diesel up to Bulawayo. So let's see how that goes. It's very interesting. People want the train to come back and the train service of Zimbabwe to work. The NRZ was one of the biggest companies before, and it has been destroyed. Many people used to be employed here. And myself, I once worked at the NRZ pension fund for a brief period. This was a huge company, massive company. So let's see if the revival goes through. Then let's look at our newspapers. Let's see if any of our newspapers have published. So I'll keep it short. I know you guys have been watching me for days. I've been coming here so many times. Right. So Sunday News of Zimbabwe has published. So let's go into it. And then I'll go for my workout. So now I'm supposed to go for my workout. I've got an assignment. I'm trying to lose weight. I've been sitting here for too long. So let's go to Sunday News newspaper. So our conference set a deadline to implement President Mnangagwa's term extension. So government and ZANU-PF have given a deadline of the 23rd National People's Conference in October 2026 to implement resolution number 1 to extend the term limit of President Mnangagwa to 2030. So that is their headline. And then let's see if there's anything else. There is nothing here of interest. Let's look at anything else. Let's see what is happening here. We can see Chiwenga, Mohadi, and Mnangagwa cutting the ribbon at the National Pharmaceutical Warehouse in Monterrey. And then Parliament has made an announcement. So there are interviews being held for the Zimbabwe Gender Commission. And these are the candidates. So you can see all the candidates are female. So the Zimbabwe Gender Commission has got only, okay, there are guys here. Victor Ngwame. It's surprising that there are guys who want to sit on the Zimbabwe Gender Commission. I guess that makes sense. And then there's also Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission. Let's look at anyone who know here. So there are 2 people called Chivasa, Mr. Madok Chivasa and Miss Lucy Rubidzai Chivasa. Very interesting. Let's see if there's anyone else that I know on this list. Mashakada, Tapiwa Mashakada. Guys, this is interesting. There's Dr. Tapiwa Mashakada here. And then let's see who else is there. Mazungunye. These are the guys from Masvingo, right? And then who else is here that I know? I don't know anyone else here. Tatenda Mugabe looks familiar. Netsai Mushonga. And then who else do I know on this list? So you can go and check it out. There's going to be a panel. So we're going to follow this. It's going to happen on the 31st of October and on the 30th of October. So go check out all these interviews that are going to take place. And then also on the Parliament of Zimbabwe, the Joint Portfolio on Environment, Climate and Wildlife will be holding public hearings across the country. So you can go and check out these. So Parliament of Zimbabwe, very busy. And then we also have the Zimbabwe Media Commission. So let's look at who is in the Zimbabwe Media Commission. These are also interviews. So we've got people like Bushu, Antonio. Let's see if there's anyone who stands out here that we know who's going to be in the Zimbabwe Media Commission. I don't see any names of prominent journalists here. Let's see if there's anyone. Ambassador Gertrude Ratidzo Takawira, Rachel Pote. These are popular names that I can see here. But I actually, okay, there is Mr. Caesar Zhai. The very last person to be interviewed is Mr. Caesar Zhai. I'm sure that this guy is well known to you guys. He's going to be interviewed for the Zimbabwe Media Commission. Then the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has given a snapshot of current and financial developments. So there has been a comment by one of the prominent economists, that is Professor Gift Mugano, has commented on this. But I'm going to do a long post on this after I've reviewed it. I have not reviewed it, so I'll come back here and I'll review it, or ask an economist to come here and review it. But what Professor Mugano has said is that the government of Zimbabwe is broke. It can't pay service providers and third payments. The government of Zimbabwe civil servants pay only $220 for prominent, that is top civil servants, and they now have a bonus of $150, and then about 3.5 million youths are unemployed. This is dangerous, Zimbabwe. The way it is, it's bad. So go and check out this, but I'm going to come back here later today and unpack it. So as you are aware, we've got gAMBAKWE 2028. So let me pause briefly here on gAMBAKWE 2028. We're not going to stop gAMBAKWE 2028. In fact, I do not believe that Mnangagwa is going to be able to go to 2030. So we're in fact going to intensify gAMBAKWE 2028. We're going to make sure that our presidential campaign is successful. However, what we're going to do is we're going to make certain changes. So I'm currently talking to the guys who are MPs, senators, and councillors, so that we change our approach. So we're going to change our approach slightly so that we also work with other people. So there will be a lot of people working on what Mnangagwa has proposed. So instead of going as a separate coalition or trying to set up a separate political party, I'm looking at talking to the guys so that we change our approach just in case Mnangagwa pushes through ED 2030. So our focus must be different. And as you can see, the economy is not moving, it's not growing. And that requires people to work together to make sure that we don't have a problem. And Mnangagwa's proposals are very dangerous. ZANU-PF is planning to do something that has never been seen before, which is to turn our country into one of the biggest jokes. Now, on top of the economic issues, Zimbabwe is becoming an unstable country, politically unpredictable, elections not being held when they're due. That has never happened, even under Mugabe. Elections have always been held when they are due. And now we have a situation where someone wants to turn that around. You want to have a situation where elections are not held when they are due. Very crazy and unbelievable. And then let's look at the pictures. War veterans, you can see them over here. Our mothers and fathers went to war and being used. Look at Tungwarara over here. And then we've got other people sitting around. ZANU-PF is losing its ideological center, starting to focus on a person and not the party. So instead of the party being at the center, the leader of the party is now becoming the center. And I think people in ZANU-PF must fight what is happening right now. When Mnangagwa got into office, he said he's going to change everything. He's going to stop making himself the center of the party. But alas, that is not happening. It's becoming more of a problem. So let's look at vacancies at Bulawayo City Council. We need an architect. So guys, this is one of the best jobs. Working for the Bulawayo City Council is one of the best jobs. You get paid so much and you get accommodation. So if you are an architect, apply to this job. Electrician, linesman, quantity surveyor. These are the best jobs. Senior architect, assistant. So amazing job if you've got the qualifications. Apply to these jobs. I'm going to cut them out of here and I'm going to put them on gambakwe.com so that you can see the jobs and you can apply. Amazing jobs. We love them. We love Bulawayo City Council. And then proposed merger of FBC Bank and FBC Building Society. So it is hereby notified that FBC Bank and FBC Building Society are intended to merge. In order to facilitate the merger of the two institutions, FBC Building Society will transfer all its assets and liabilities in relation to all its banking business and operation to FBC Bank Limited. So this is 21 days and then it will be done. If you've got any objection, you write to PT Madamombe at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. So that is what is happening here. Then there's a course at the Ministry of Health for midwifery training. So I also put this on gAMBAKWE. If you want to train as a midwife, you must be a registered nurse. You must have 2 years post-training and a minimum of 3 months in the relevant area. Course applied for will be an added advantage. So you have to be someone who's already a midwife, maybe, I don't know. And then the CSC, notice of end of corporate rescue proceedings. It is hereby given that the CSC, having been filed the Master of the High Court, any issues related to the company must herefore be directed to the company's management board. So there's no more corporate rescue. The company is now successful. That is the CSC. I'll go check out that and I'll put it on gAMBAKWE so that you guys can see. And then Zimbabwe Free Range Poultry Association. There's going to be an exhibition and it will be public, open to the public at Rajiv Gandhi Hall in Harare on the 23rd. So all these adverts, I'll put them for you so that you guys can see what's happening in Zimbabwe. Very interesting. And then surrender of securities. So I'll try to put as many of these as possible on gAMBAKWE. And then let's see what else is happening here. Regarding Sunday Mail, I said Sunday Mail had not published. Let's see if they've published as yet. As you can see today, we've got very interesting stories, especially the adverts. They're more interesting than the news. Let's see what else is here. All right, Sunday Mail is not yet published, so I'll give it to you guys when I come back here in the afternoon. So I think we've covered most of what I wanted to cover. That is the news that we have this morning. Let's see what is happening in South Africa. So we go to the Sunday World newspaper and see if there's anything of interest. What are the scandals over there? So Mkhwanazi is under attack today. Big attack on Mkhwanazi. He's angered the newspapers here after he said something about the press and they've been attacking him on a daily basis. So people are saying Mkhwanazi stole my Rolex watches. Mkhwanazi corpse stole my Rolex. So you can go check it out over there. And then the usual scandals here in this newspaper. But one of the biggest one is DJ Maporisa. He is owing SARS over 3 million in tax. So that is how much he owes. I don't know how much he has to make to owe 3 million. He must be making a lot of money to owe that much. And then let's see what's happening in Botswana. So Botswana is one of those countries that are very interesting. A lot is happening in Botswana. And I believe that Botswana is one of the countries that are a bit more stable right now. But the economic issues are so crazy in Botswana because of the diamond issues. So if diamond was to do well, Botswana would do well. But at the moment, that is not the case. In Botswana, let's look at this newspaper. She's a fraud. So let's see who is a fraud. So alleged Kang files to clear allegations. So former Queensland chairman has, in a dramatic turn, filed a police report against a 31-year-old who publicly accused him. So this is Kang here. So he saying this lady on the right is a fraud. So you can go check it out in Botswana. That is the drama taking place in Botswana right now. And then let's see our people. That is the people that will follow on Facebook. What are they saying? So let's start with, apologies, let's see the sharing there. Let's see who is tweeting and what they are saying. Most of them are sleeping. Okay, let's look at what Alex Magaisa was saying and what Hope was saying about it. I concluding by urging the CCC interim leadership to hasten the pace to establish a set of rules called the Constitution, even on an interim basis. So before I go to bed, I want to remind everyone of the important question that was asked today. What went wrong? I think CC is no longer something that we can talk about. I don't know why people still talk about CC and Chamisa. So I'm always surprised when people talk about Chamisa and CC. You need to form something new. Don't keep criticizing Chamisa. We have offered people to come and become leaders. Even Anahopo offered them. So don't talk about Chamisa. Don't talk about CC. Form something. Then let's look at Madam Boss. She is amazing. Look at her. Madam Boss, Ariko Pisa, Semoto. But I don't think most guys are confident enough to have a woman who travels all over the place and who dresses like this. She is very, very interesting. Then let's look at other things that she has posted. Okay, I think this we've seen already. She wants you to vote. And then I'm giving away 2 tickets to go and follow and take a friend by page Chosen World TV. So if you're in South Africa, go to a page and take a friend. There's going to be a big show here in South Africa. Let's see the date. I'm looking for the date here. Date. What date is this thing? I cannot. Okay, 1 November at 1400 hours. We're going to see Mahendere, Charamba, Chirai, so Zama, Ngube, all these people are over here. Go check it out. And if you're in South Africa, attend. I don't even see the venue here. Chosen World Convention Center at 23 Summit Drive, Rispark, Johannesburg, South Africa. I don't know this place, but you guys who are in Johannesburg, you can go and attend. Then let's look at Minnie, one of my favorite people. I like it. So let's see what she's saying. Gabriel Manyati, she shared, I think that is what she's wearing. Guys, this is AI generated. I don't know why it's AI generated. You guys know why? Do you know why it's AI generated? I don't get it. Check out what I'm talking about. At the bottom right, you're going to see that little sign there. It shows that it's AI generated. So I don't know why it is AI generated. That's crazy. Maybe the music is AI generated. But she's very interesting. And also, Chiwenga doing very, very well. Chiwenga has transformed himself into someone that is probably, people didn't expect Chiwenga to be at this position at this point. But he's beginning to look like one of those people that can become a presidential candidate in 2028. I hope that everything goes well. What are those pictures on the face of those guys behind Chiwenga? I'm trying to see whose picture that is. You see all those guys who are behind Chiwenga. They've got the head of someone on their t-shirts. I'm trying to see who is that person who is on that picture. But let's see what is the caption written here, because I did not see the person what they wrote. Very interesting to see what that person has written. Gabriel Manyati, what is he written about this picture? So I'm looking, and he says here, in fact, there's no post, it's just a picture. I don't know what it is. All right, so you guys can go and find out what it is, what it is that is saying. Let's look at other people that will follow. I'm looking for someone closer. President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema is always busy. So he said, today we mark 10 years of the National Day of Prayer, Fasting and Repentance over here. So that's President Hakainde Hichilema with the various churches. So you can see various churches here. So amazing stuff over here. And then let's look at President Duma Boko. If he has published anything, I'm not seeing any of his picture. Duma Gideon Boko. Right, what is he saying? What is he saying? Very quickly. Second session of the Safer Botswana run underway in Francistown. I have not been in Francistown for almost, I think 10 years. I have not been in Francistown. But this was interesting. There was a run here, so you can go check it out on his page.
The city of all things precious.
I don't know who is this guy speaking. It's very interesting. I like the Tswana language, but I can't speak it. And then Chido Sanyatwe. She has not posted anything new ever since we talked yesterday. And then on SADC, let's see what SADC is saying. SADC is going through a lot because it's got poor leadership. So SADC has poor leadership. They are letting the region collapse. Arrival of Honorable Richard Musowoya, head of SADC Electoral Observer Mission for Tanzania. So that is Honorable Richard Musowoya, former Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Malawi, has arrived in Dar es Salaam. He's going to be the head of SIOM. So the situation in Tanzania is worse than the situation in Zimbabwe because the opposition leader is in jail. So the opposition leader has been prevented from contesting and is in jail, and SADC has been quiet. And they've not said anything. And that election cannot be free and fair because the opposition leader is in jail. Then SADC Secretary participates in high-level dialogue on empowering job creation in Africa. So SADC doing very well, doing a lot, but they need to do better in terms of governance. Who are these two pretty ladies? SADC joined G20 dialogue on inclusive industrial policy, and you've got the two pretty ladies here, two pretty young ladies over here. And of course, you're going to see most of them moving around. Let's see what they say. It says, SADC depends diplomatic engagement with the member state ambassador in Washington, D.C. So the Deputy Executive Secretary, Ms. Angele Mokombo Ndumba, held a courteous meeting with ambassadors representing SADC in Washington. So they do this on a regular basis. So let's see who is the Zimbabwe representative here. I'm trying to see who is the Zimbabwe representative here, but I cannot see him offhand. But you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 ambassadors out of the around 15 member states. Here, you know that there's a problem in Madagascar. In Seychelles, I'll give you an update about what's happening over there. I did not check out the inauguration. We've been too busy. But we know that already in Madagascar, they've inaugurated a new president who is a military ruler. So our region is collapsing into chaos. Mozambique, after the election, there was chaos. Zimbabwe, after the election, SIOM said the election was not free and fair. We have not known peace ever since that election. And now in Madagascar, we've got this problem that is happening over there. Other places have got instability, and SADC needs to shape up. We've got a serious problem in this region politically because of lack of leadership. The leaders of SADC, they don't call each other to say, what you're doing is not right. Let's try to fix our governance. So our region is slowly becoming unstable. What happened in Mozambique resulting in thousands of people dying after the elections. The leadership of SADC have not intervened in Mozambique. It took people from outside the region to come up with a solution. In Zimbabwe, there's no solution. The SIOM recommendations have not been implemented. In Madagascar, there were so many protests after the election, resulting in the government collapsing and a new president taking over through a military coup. That is what is happening in our region. And you can see that economically, the region is not doing well. In certain areas, South Africa, growth is very low. In Botswana, we've got the issues with the diamonds not doing well. And so the region needs to sit down, and SADC needs to take a more prominent role to fix the issues in the region. Otherwise, the region will collapse. It will become a banana region. So a banana republic is like Zimbabwe, but a banana region is the whole region collapsing. And look at what's happening in South Africa with all the corruption allegations, state capture, and also syndicates operating across the country, across the board. So this is terrible for our region. SADC needs to do better to make us do well. All right, and then we obviously have other news taking place, which we're going to cover, and I'll be updating you guys later on during the day. So let's see if our newspaper is published. Then I'm out. I like to show you guys the newspapers in the morning. So let's see if the Sunday Mail newspaper is here, and then we'll be gone. And then obviously I want to look at some tweets. You saw what happened to Chamisa. Chamisa and Cucsman have had a massive fight. Cucsman, I don't get him at all. Like, I don't want to lie. I don't get Cucsman. He's not one of my favorite people. But him and Chamisa are having a fight for life, a fight for days. I don't know why Chamisa would fight Cucsman. Like, I won't block anybody. Like, there's no one who can make me block them. It's not possible. I've never blocked a person in my whole life. If you make fun of me, or if you make me unhappy, I'll just laugh at you. And then that'll be it. I'm not that kind of guy. Look at expedient changes to presidential system. ZANU-PF. What a disaster. ZANU-PF. This is bad. And then let's see drug testing at workplaces and schools. And then let's see if there's anything else of interest. Right, this is very interesting. Grief, desperation after Makado bus disaster. So let me tell you what's happening here. So what is happening is that starting tomorrow, relatives of the people that have passed away here in South Africa can claim compensation under the Road Accident Fund, even if you don't have documents. So if you're an illegal immigrant in South Africa, so for the 42 Zimbabweans that have died, you can claim compensation, and that is the law of South Africa. So normally this is quite a significant amount. You're looking at close to like R1 million that you can get if you claim compensation. So if your relative passed away in South Africa in that bus accident, you go and make a claim in the Road Accident Fund in Centurion. I don't know how the process works, but you go there and make a claim, even if your relative did not have any papers. If they were illegally in South Africa, you can still claim compensation. It's the law of South Africa. So that is the law. There's no person that cannot claim compensation. And these monies that we're talking about are quite significant. We're looking here at R1 million or more for a death. That is what is going to happen. So you can go over to Road Accident Fund. So let me see, RAF, Road Accident Fund South Africa, right? You can go over there and make a claim. That is for all the Zimbabweans whose relatives have passed away. And this has brought an uproar here in South Africa to say, how can you allow someone who is not a South African and who is not even legal in the country to claim? But that is what it is. The number is on the screen. So let's see. Let me show you guys so that you see the number. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen and we'll share this one. I know that most of the relatives didn't know this. You can actually make a claim for your relative that passed away, even if they're illegally in the country. So that is the Road Accident Fund over here. And that is the number. And that is the website is raf.co.za. So if your relative passed away, you go there, you make a claim, and you'll be paid out. So that is how it works in South Africa. That is the law of this country. And unfortunately, some people don't like it. But that's how it is. One day I went to Namibia and I traveled with a man that had been so badly injured in an accident. He was traveling to Namibia and they crashed into an elephant and he broke almost all his bones. And he had received a payout of about $1 million in Namibia. Namibia also has the same law. If you are traveling in Namibia and you have an accident, you can also claim for road accident fund. And that is on top of your own insurance if you got personal injury insurance. All right, let's see other things. I'm quickly looking at the passing away of the director and management and staff of Cucsman. Extend their deepest and most sincere condolences to the Chapendama family on the passing of former board member and chairperson of the audit committee, Ms. Pauline Shramwewa Chapendama. So you can go check it out if you are someone that knows about Cucsman. That is what has happened over there. She's passed away. And then ZANU-PF is just too big to fail. That is a man called Bishop Lazarus. Guys, this thing that he's saying here, don't take it lightly. We need to set up a proper opposition in the country. Most of you are 50 or 60, somewhere there. You are going to die with nothing if ZANU-PF stays in office. ZANU-PF has got no clue. They are the worst political party ever. So in our region, ZANU-PF has consistently destroyed value since 1980. So we need a new political party. This is no longer a time to play. What ZANU-PF is doing, including trying to extend the term limit of Mnangagwa, is extremely dangerous. So we need to make sure that we have an opposition party, a strong, united opposition party, and defeat ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a cancer. Mnangagwa is worse. What he's doing is shameful, trying to extend his term to 2030. There's no rational reason for it. If you ask Mnangagwa why he's extending his term, there's no reason why Mnangagwa is extending his term. For what? What is he going to do in the 2 years? And then Chinoy, University of Technology, Doctor of Strategic Management degree. So this is amazing. If you are inside of Zimbabwe, try to apply for this. This is actually one of the best degrees, doctorates. These degrees are useful. So if you know strategy, you do well. So if you are in a company in Zimbabwe, they'll probably pay for you to study. So go and study here. And Zimbabwean education is very cheap. Some of the cheapest education, probably you also get a scholarship over here. And then Dynamos, I think, is playing Highlanders today. Very interesting, very big newspaper. And you can also see all the stuff that I've shown you, which was in the Sunday newspaper over here. So go check it out. Mairuizi Estate Rango turns nasty. So said. So that is Mairuizi is one of the people that was acting long back when Zimbabwe still had a television station. And you can go check it out in the Herald newspaper. Then Tongai Moyo passed away how many years ago? I think it was 14 years ago. So you can go check out Herald, Sunday newspaper and Sunday Mail newspaper doing very well. And unfortunately, the other newspapers have closed. So newspapers like the Standard, they've closed. They're not able to publish anymore on international platforms. And a big loss to Zimbabweans in the diaspora. You can't see the proper news from an independent perspective. It's always important to hear from another angle. My biggest concern this week is obviously what's happening with the AI strategy of Zimbabwe. They still haven't published the document. So Zimbabwe has launched an AI strategy and the document is still not out. So we cannot assess it. And Tatina Mavetera just made a short video about it. And then we don't know where is the actual document. Where is the document which says what is Zimbabwe's AI strategy? So AI strategy is going to be very big. And people don't understand it. And we've got we're being left behind. Basically, we're being left behind with Zimbabwe always saying something but never implementing. Look at that media policy that they launched. Nothing has happened ever since. Mnangagwa's government only does things by talking. They like to talk, and that is crazy. gAMBAKWE 2028, the Shaka broker. Munofane nzara. If you don't vote gAMBAKWE, munofane nzara. And then I've postponed my plans to invest in Zimbabwe. I'll stay here in the West with a heavy heart. No, don't postpone. So let me tell you what to do. Support the work that we're doing. Support us so that we can bring change. Change is never easy. Guys, you know what people feel when something that like what happened yesterday happens? You feel despondent, you feel like the country will never change. But change is very close. When things are about to change, it appears as if things won't change. So what you need is leadership. You don't want your leaders to go away in a moment of a crisis. That is what I always say to you. You need to be present as a leader during a moment of a crisis. But we need money. We cannot operate without cash. So what's happening is that the people in the opposition are operating without cash. So imagine you see me here every day. In the morning when you wake up, in the afternoon when you are walking, in the evening. So how do you think I pay my bills? The same thing goes to all the opposition leaders. How does Chamisa pay his bills? How does Skylar pay his bills? How does Hopo make a living? You see those people walking around, they don't work. Hopo doesn't go to work. It means he's using his own funds to move around. So what we need in what happens in other countries is that there are funds for the opposition to operate. So in Zimbabwe, there's nothing. And that is why people that always go in the, who are supposed to be in the opposition, they end up disappearing because it's costly and we need that money to come into the opposition. We need people who've got the resources to fund the opposition, and then we can go up against ZANU. Imagine Wikino, Tungwarara, Tagwiri, Scott, those guys have got billions between themselves. And you've got an opposition where we don't even have a cent coming in. Do you want change to come and the economy to function when the opposition is not funded? How is that possible? You need to fund the opposition. So that is the problem that we have in Zimbabwean opposition. And I'm going to keep saying this, and we need that money to come into the opposition so that we can establish offices and we can start organizing from Zimbabwe. We need to organize from Zimbabwe. You need to see gAMBAKWE in Zimbabwe with the ability to drive around, to run an office, for people to come and have meetings. At the moment, that's not possible because we don't have the money. And that is the biggest problem that we have in the opposition. We need to make it work. And then let's look at those funds must be new. Yes, we don't have any funds. I've never received any funds. And as far as I know, if you look at all the other opposition parties, they don't have offices. Even CC doesn't have offices. Because we don't have funds. We need to put funds in those opposition parties. gAMBAKWE speaks to Tagwiri, he might give you a few dollars. Guys, it will be a sad day when I have to get money from Tagwiri. It will be a sad day when there are other people that are there that should be able to fund opposition parties. My Zimbabweans, take this seriously. Don't let me repeat myself over and over again. You'll never get change. Mnangagwa will be there until 2035. Imagine we're 2025 now. If you're Mnangagwa until 2035, most of you will be gone before Mnangagwa is gone. Okay, I think we've covered everything. What I'll do is I'll put all the adverts for you on gAMBAKWE. Give it me 10 minutes. I will not go to gym until I've done it. So my gym is about 20 minutes drive from here. So I'm gonna drive to my gym. But before I do that, I'm going to give you guys the adverts. Your record is paid when it comes to handling donation. I've never received a single donation. Mkoma Peter. And then Mkoma Felix, thank you very much. I'm going to inbox you. Guys, I want to be in Zimbabwe so that we run our party. Not only a political party, but a coalition. What we're going through right now needs a very strong political party. You saw how organized ZANU-PF is. ZANU-PF is like a company, and we don't want to go up. It's like a tuck shop going up against a company. We don't want that. And we've got a good value proposition, changing our country, making it work. I want to show you Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine has done so well because this guy is a funding. Look at his manifesto. I want you guys to look at his manifesto. I don't like it, but it exists. So if you Google, you see that Bobi Wine has put out a manifesto, 2026 to 2031. We've compared his manifesto to gAMBAKWE's manifesto, gAMBAKWE 2028. And our manifesto beats his, like, in everything that we do. But you know why? Uganda's economy is not as bad as Zimbabwe's economy. I have guys who have gone to Uganda, they didn't like it. But Zimbabwe is the easiest country to turn around. You are going to do so well in Zimbabwe. But if you're a civil servant, if you're a soldier, if you're police, if you're intelligence, what is happening right now is a recipe for disaster. You can't have one person that thinks the country cannot function without them. That is crazy. And that is what Mnangagwa thinks, that without him, Zimbabwe won't function. Okay, so let's recap. Apostle Talwent Chiwenga is in hospital. And he's going to be away for 6 weeks. After his 6th procedure, he's got one more procedure to go to make it 7. And it's unfortunate that this is happening. He has been poisoned, according to what I heard. He was poisoned on top of the accidents that he had in Zimbabwe in 2019. So it's really sad to see the men of God are going through this. And as I said, I'm going to try to go and see him. But you know that I have to fly. Guys, it's crazy. If I want to go to Johannesburg, maybe I must move back to Johannesburg. If I want to do anything in life, I have to go to Johannesburg. It doesn't make sense. Johannesburg is the center of everything here in South Africa. Let's see what else. Yako, I see Moon, I know you are spelling in Zara. You are not running today. Bye-bye. Yes, I'm not running today. Today I'm going to be going to my gym because I need to do some heavy weights. Where is God to protect him? Yes, God is in it. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. But now that you said it, let's see what Chamisa has said. Chamisa, my homeboy. Tinombo Burana. Sometimes, because Anita is with Kisa, Chamisa. But you cannot write off Chamisa. He is part of this environment as a political leader. Done deal. A little shall become 1,000, and a small one is a nation, a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in its time. Isaiah 60, verse 22. That time is coming. Blessed Sabbath. ZANU-PF resolutions bind ZANU-PF members, not Zimbabwe and the people. So Chamisa has commented on ZANU-PF resolution. I would love to see Nelson Chamisa doing more. And unfortunately, it's not happening. I don't know what is happening, but something is stopping him from action, doing action. At the moment, he's sitting back. But as I said, we need money in the opposition. We don't want people to end up getting money from Tagwiri. That would be sad. All right. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. It's been amazing. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. And a good day to you all.